Going live, day 2. Let me get on it here. Where are we? Hello. Day 2 and summer ready metabolism makeover. Woo! You guys should have gotten an email yesterday with the replay of day 1. Let me know if you got it. Again, if you're watching the replay to this, put hashtag summer. We will be sending day 2 video in an email later this afternoon as well. I don't want to create a post. I want to get into my group so I can see myself and then I can see all the comments and stuff coming in. There we go. Amazing. Yesterday was fantastic, and I applaud all of you guys that showed up for yourself and commented. Again, workshops are about working together, about me asking the questions to get you clarity, right? Taking viable action. So I applaud those of you that did comment in the chat and reply and really thought about how you want to feel this summer, right? Beyond just I want to be confident. I want to feel good in my shorts. Of course we do. We all do. Okay, what does that look like for you? What does that feel like? So if you're here on day 2 and you haven't done day 1, pause, go do day 1. Because day 1, when we talked about the shifts, this is 80% of your journey. This is your make or break. It's not the Oreos or the ice cream cake, okay? Or the burgers or the wine. It's this. Right? And we talked about that yesterday. Or else this is what will happen, right? You go at it for the next, 6 weeks or so. Beginning of June happens, you're feeling great, and then all of a sudden summer happens, and then we fall off the wagon. Okay, there should never be a wagon. If there's a wagon, it's going too fast. But we fall off, and then we say to ourselves, I'm just going to enjoy the summer. I'll try to dampen that narrative that's on me saying like you don't look good, you shouldn't be eating this, and I'll start fresh in September. Okay, so this is 80% of the journey to get away from that shift in mindset and shift in that internal narrative. It's not a light switch that happens overnight. This is something continually that we work on. Okay, call it neuro realignment. You hear me say it all the time. See you guys watching. Say hi. Say hello. 2 big keys. Hopefully you guys have your notebooks handy with you to take some notes. Okay, 2 big keys in this metabolism makeover. And everyone's like, the strategy, the goods are these 2 words. Please write them down. Consistency and efficiency. Now more than ever in your 40s and 50s. Hi, my Petra. In your 40s and 50s. When I see Petra, I feel like I should just have a glass of wine with you. When our 40s and 50s, your body and mind craves consistency. And there's Heather. Look at all my clients are popping up. I told you guys, right? Value, consistency and efficiency. Craves it, wants it, needs it. Those 2 things, put them on a Post-it note. Write them in your journal, please. Okay? Above all else, that is what your body is craving. Okay? So we're going to dive right in, and at the end of today, I am going to be offering something that is going to be putting the pieces together. Petra and Heather, who are saying hi to me on here, have been through this. We call it the 3M Accelerator. I don't offer it all the time, but for you guys in this workshop, I usually do it in the challenges, but you in this workshop, I'm going to be giving you that opportunity after what we talk about the strategy here today. And this is for you if you're like, okay, I get this, Moni. I'm loving what you're saying. I understand, and I want to continue this journey. But I want someone to help me put the pieces together, personalized to me. It has to be personalized to you because everybody is different. Every body is different, and everybody is different. Okay, so let's dive in. First and foremost, I'm going to have a sip of water, and then we're going to talk about metabolism. Metabolism, okay? It's very important you guys know why, okay? But the why behind the how, okay? Then it makes sense, right? So what is your metabolism? Yes, this is going to sound like grade 12 biology class, but It's very tempting for us to think and equate our metabolism, because you hear it all the time. Oh my gosh, my metabolism's slow. I need to rev up my metabolism. I have an aging metabolism. And we have this, it's very tempting for us to only really think of our metabolism as this like speedometer, right? When it's revving high, then we're burning the fat, we're burning the calories. And when it's not revving, we're not. And we're holding on to fat and we feel heavy and we feel bloated and all those things. And the reality is that our metabolism, if you will, it is a vast, complex biochemical system. Okay, it's way more than that gas revving and putting on the brakes. And at a very high level, and please write this down, your metabolism is a process that your body uses to convert the food that you eat and drink, okay, into energy. Converts what you consume, good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter, into energy. That's your metabolism. How it does that, very complex. Okay, and remember, it runs 24/7. We greatly underestimate how much energy our system and our body and our brain uses during sleep. Okay, for the big 3 R's, to rejuvenate, to rid, and to regulate. That's why sleep is so important. Okay, we talk about it all the time. Okay, we all know basic sleep hygiene by now. Very important for consistent sleep at this stage of the game. Okay, but I should have had a whiteboard. But this is how when we talk about doing a metabolism makeover. It's Friday. I definitely need the wine, Petra. Okay, think of your metabolism in the middle. Okay, on the one end, we want your metabolism to be high functioning, meaning that you have what we call in our 3M community metabolic flexibility. What does that mean? That means that you can have your girls' weekends, you can have your pizza and wine Friday night dates, you can have vacations, okay? And your metabolism figures it out. So it is not converting energy into fat, right? You have metabolic flexibility. Does that mean that you can eat like crap all the time? No. Well, it depends on the metabolism, to be honest with you, right? There's a lot of high performance athletes out there that their physique and everything looks great and their diets are not so, right? So it depends on the individual. But for us as women in our 40s and 50s, to have metabolic flexibility is the goal. It's not a maintenance phase. Okay, this is just a part of life. This becomes a part of your routine. Metabolic flexibility. Okay, we don't want, on the other side of that, metabolic adaptation. You guys may have heard of that before. Okay, it's basically when your metabolism gets into this fight or flight and just goes, oh snap, she may be starving us again. I'm going to slow everything the F down. Okay, because it's conserving energy. Remember, this whole journey is about energy, matching your daily energy demands. Okay, so metabolism in the middle, the goal to make over your metabolism, to have one that has metabolic flexibility, not adaptation. Okay, when we have metabolic adaptation, your metabolism goes very fixed, and it basically is like screaming to everything to shut down, slow down, conserve energy. Now, when we have this metabolism in the middle, what are the factors to make over metabolism, to rev it up again, to get it firing for us, to have it utilize our consumption, food, the information it's been given, to convert that energy the way we want it to be, efficiently. Remember, consistency and efficiency. Efficiency. It's going to be one of those days, Friday. A variety of factors affect our metabolism. Okay, a variety. Genetics, sex, who's bitched at their husband because you guys have been eating the same and he dropped the 10 pounds and you're like, great, it's working for him. Okay, men, okay, men, and their hormones too, but men. Lifestyle, body composition, how you are naturally built. Okay, we learned that the endomorph, metamorph, everything, it's a factor. where we are predispositioned genetically to carry the fluff. Okay, this is not about looking like Cindy Crawford. Okay, it's about you connecting with you. And I saw that with a lot of your goals, and I love that. I want to feel like me. I want to be me again, right? Activity level is also a big influencer on your metabolism. Okay, we do a whole phase in the 3M talking about hormone-centric movement. You know, the importance of resistance training. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. All those factors greatly, genetics, lifestyle, body composition, everything greatly influence your metabolism. Okay, and we can get into the complex about your resting metabolic rate versus your basal metabolic rate and all that stuff. It's science. You don't need it. Okay, and I know doctors out there are like, this is what, okay, how do you feel? That's what I say. That should be your biggest barometer. How do you feel? Okay. One of the biggest factors for the metabolism to get that metabolic flexibility, okay, to jumpstart your metabolism, to make it over, okay, is hormones. And I know we feel it. I know we talk about it, and everyone's like, my hormones in flex. And I'm talking beyond being in perimenopause or menopause or postmenopause. Okay. This is beyond the hot flashes and, you know, dropping the spoon on the floor and breaking out into tears for no reason, not feeling like yourself, not sleeping great, everything. Okay, this is just a natural hormonal evolution that happens literally at the beginning of our 40s. Okay, and we have to remember this, and please write this down. What are hormones? There are messengers. Okay, they regulate metabolic activity at different tissues and organs by just sending messages out. Okay, they influence our appetite, they influence our healing, obviously our metabolic rate, okay, how readily you're going to convert that information, that food, into energy and utilize it, not store it. They, body fat distribution, hormones tell your body where to store fat. Estrogen, okay, where to store fat. Fat burning, fat storing hormones, okay, we hear it all. But let's recognize, and I think it's greatly downplayed, the influence of hormones on our metabolism. Okay? Influence of hormones on metabolism. And maybe you already know, but I'm just here to reiterate then. And we cannot talk about making over your metabolism without talking about a hormone-centric approach, not a caloric-centric. When I say I'm giving you guys my strategy to make over your metabolism to be summer ready, it is hormone-centric approach. It does not need to be complicated, but it does need to be personalized to you. That's why I'm giving you guys the offer at the end of this workshop. Okay. I saw a study recently by Dr. Sarah Gottfeld. She works at the Harvard Medical Center, and she did this study and research basically showing that over 90% of weight loss resistance is hormonal. And I know that weight loss isn't a goal for everybody. I think your goals for everyone should be, not for everyone, but the goal should be smaller, not necessarily lighter. Okay. But I know energy could be, menopausal symptoms may be, you know, feeling like yourself and just feeling connected with yourself again. Mind-body connection may be a goal. Maybe it is doing a triathlon or something. Okay. Maybe it is doing a burlesque class with your friends on stage. Okay. Whatever the goal may be. Hey, Karen. We greatly underestimate the hormonal influence on it. Okay. And I know calories in, calories out, as we talked about yesterday, is been very disproven and is a big misconception thanks to the apps. Okay. Calories do matter. Okay. We don't want to be in a caloric surplus. Calories do matter. Hormones matter more. Okay. And unfortunately, most diets out there don't work, or they fail, or don't work long term because they don't address the hormonal root cause that are common for women holding onto fluff. Okay, which are, and write these guys down. Okay, before we dive into our strategy, excess cortisol, insulin or leptin blockage and resistance. Okay, insulin sensitivity, estrogen dominance. Even with our estrogen declining as we age, you can still be in estrogen dominance because your progesterone has bottomed out. Estrogen dominance just means it's basically the ratio between itself and progesterone. Okay? It doesn't mean that your estrogen's off the charts. Okay, you can still be in perimenopause and be in estrogen dominance. Okay, low progesterone, huge, big one. Okay, sluggish thyroid. So in the functional nutritional space, which is my credentials and backing, we look at the system and the body and the mind in a very holistic sense. Meaning we're not going to just sit there and tackle thyroid only or insulin only or cortisol only, because we realize that the body works as a whole. Hence us talking about the mental game first and foremost yesterday, right? And for us in the 3M, it's a 3-step protocol. It's eat, what you're eating, how you're moving, how you're thinking, and then supplementation and testing after that if needed. Okay, if the body's not reacting, we're not getting the goals that we want, then we test, not guess. Okay, but let's try to heal nutritionally first, and how we move and how we eat. So to make over our metabolism, okay, metabolism here to have that flexibility, knowing that hormones are a huge factor. Okay, what's the first step in this makeover to get summer ready? We have to get our hormones primed. You may have heard of the word priming before. People call it balancing. People call it regulating. Okay, I like the word priming. Okay, because basically what that means is that we're getting your hormones to work together in symphony. Okay, and not being out of tune, and not just being sporadic. Okay, we want the messages to be clear. This to the hormones, to the systems to be clear. Okay, that's what priming is. It's ridding inflammation out of your body. It's healing. Okay, it's decreased cravings, better energy, feeling of lightness, bloating going away. Okay, gut health. Your body starting to release fat, decreased inches. Okay, that's what we look at. When I work with women for the first 4 weeks, 6 weeks even, in the 3M, we focused solely on priming before we ask the body to shape and tone and get, we think bikini body ready, workout, sit-ups. No, prime first. Keep moving your body, keep doing what you're doing, but don't guilt yourself into thinking that you need more. We talked about that mental shift yesterday. So first and foremost, and getting the strategy, these are the big 3, and these are going to be great reminders, Petra and Heather. They're watching live. Okay. Number 1 and foremost, from the nutritional perspective, you need to get consistent with eating 3 meals a day at relatively consistent times. Sounds super elementary, but I'm going to tell you this. Majority of women find it maybe easy Monday to Friday, then the weekends hit, everything shifts, right? We unregulate, and then we try to start fresh on Monday again. Okay? I get it, it's life, but more often than not, remember that, more often than not, meals should be at consistent times, okay? And 3 meals a day. If you are fasting in the morning and skipping breakfast, we need to talk. Okay, you guys have heard me say this. If you've heard me speak before, fasting is not a diet, it's a tool. Many nutritionists in the space utilize it. I utilize it with clients. Actually, majority of the time it's in the evening. I've seen more often than not, women still dropping breakfast, which is a big no-no when you're over 40s. I'm sorry, it is. Okay, naturally, metabolically, if you're talking about having a healthy metabolism, you naturally should be hungry in the morning. Why? Because you've used so much energy through the night to repair, to rid, and to regulate. If you're not hungry first thing in the morning, your metabolism's off. First sign for me. Okay? So with my fasters, don't just jump in and start eating your breakfast. Start, if you're a smoothie girl, start with maybe some smoothies, get into the flow of everything, but 3 consistent meals. Okay? Snacks are only there if you need them. Okay? If you're missing lunch, okay, or lunch is pushed because you're in corporate and you have back-to-back meetings, or you find yourself eating in front of your desk, make a conscious effort, reminders in your phone, okay, to have lunch. We don't want a huge gap in between our meals, okay, but we also don't want to be grazing all day. That's another big one, okay, the 5 mini meals or 6 mini meals all day, or, grazing while you're cooking, okay. We don't want that grazing. What that does is making your digestion work all the time, and more importantly, making your body secrete insulin to try to balance your blood sugar all the time. If insulin is present, your body will not release fat. It's biochemically impossible. So we need distinct consumption periods, okay? We call it meal timing, 3 please, and we need to make sure that there is gaps in between where our body is allowed to rest and digest. And it is in those periods that you get into fat burning mode. Okay? Makes sense, guys? Give me a thumbs up. You guys are watching. Sounds elementary, but it's not. For those of you that are in work, doctors, nurses, teachers, okay, when you're on your feet, you're moving around, maybe you're outside, whatever it may be, and you find especially during the day, when you consume is dictated a lot on your job. Police officers, I've had detectives, okay, they're like, okay, a lot on your job. We need to find something that works for you, okay? And I can't tell you, like, hey, do this, do that. That's when we talk. That's why I talk to all my clients, okay? That's when my coaches talk to our clients. Because we have to find something that works. Same goes with night shift. I know I've talked to, I can't remember your name off the top of my head, I'm so sorry, that you're on night shift, 4:30 to 9 in the morning. We're basically flipping your algorithm, okay? Because then there's this big, like, oh my gosh, I'm a night shifter. Should I just fast through the night because that's when I should be sleeping? No, you should actually be consuming, okay? But you're working against your natural algorithm. When it's dusk, everything slows down. You're not necessarily going to feel hungry. That ghrelin hormone isn't kicking in yet. Okay, so we have to kind of do things slowly. I know you mentioned you're like, I'm going to fast through the night. Then you're not meeting your energy demand, depending what you're doing for work, right? If you're in security and you get to kind of have a little siesta, okay, it may be different from being, a 911 operator. I had a client that was that, okay, night shift 911 operator versus paramedic or detective or anything like that, okay? So meal timing has to work in your life, okay? And it doesn't mean you have to have 9, noon, and 5, okay? But we need to find a consistent rhythm for you, something that your body can learn to lean on and trust. And trust me, it starts to. Okay, around 5, if you're used to eating around 5 o'clock and then 5 o'clock goes, like, your body starts going, okay, what's happening? Okay, very consistency, okay, within reason is very important. Okay, and I remember hearing with sleep, like if you have a good sleep routine during the week and then on the weekends you either sleep in a few hours or go to bed a few hours late, you're basically waking up Monday jet lagged. Makes sense, right? Because you've totally altered. Okay? Doesn't mean you have to go to bed at 9:30 on a Saturday night. I know there's no fun at that, especially when it's so light outside. But just be conscious of it. Try not to do it day after day after day. Okay? We can still have fun. Makes sense, guys? Okay? So, periods between meals so your body can rest and digest and get into a fat burning state. Huge. Okay? Very, very... I see a bunch of comments coming in. I'll come back to it at the end. Very, very elementary, very important. We can hormone balance, nutrition pair your meals, do all the things, but if it's all out of whack all the time when you're consuming, your body's just like, what the F? I don't know what to do. Okay, is she in battle or is she starving us? You got to remember, this is very primitive. Okay, depending on your Darwinism or religious beliefs and what you believe in, it's still very primitive. We've had the same body and mind for a long, long, long time. Okay. Number 2. Okay. So number 1, consistent meal times, please. And 3 meals. Don't drop a meal. Everyone's like, fasting works for me. Yeah, because you're skipping breakfast. You're putting yourself in metabolic adaptation. Your body's getting used to not having breakfast and surviving on 1,200 calories a day. You're effing up your metabolism. It's going to be very hard, not impossible, but hard to get it back. It needs to start trusting you again. It needs consistency that works with your everyday energy. Okay? Huge. Number 2 is prioritizing protein. Okay? I talk about this often. Why? Because it's uber important, and I probably see more than 90% of women underutilize a protein in their diet. And when I say protein, it can be plant or animal based. Okay, we want I think a full protein. I can't believe I can't remember the word. I keep saying complex, but it's not right. But we want a protein that has full spectrum, basically, has all the amino acids. Okay, and to do that, we need to have consistent protein. We don't want to have it lump sum in one meal and in one source, okay? Because we want, again, a full amino acid spectrum. Okay, I don't want to get too complicated, but protein. The easiest way to do that is to have a good quality protein source at every meal, okay? Every meal. It's essential in recovery. So if you work out and train and you want long, lean, strong muscles, you move your body, you're hiking, you're doing everything, okay? We don't want to be sore that much afterwards. We want to recoup protein, okay? It's your builder, So recovery, it makes you, the satiation is very high. It makes you fuller for longer, has a great thermogenic effect, meaning it takes our body a lot of energy to break it down and pull the nutritional value and need out of it. And more importantly, it is a building block to key fat-burning hormones, like your HGH, human growth hormone, and serotonin, your feel-good hormone. Okay? Remember that word serotonin, please write it down, because I'm going to talk about it here with number 3 in our strategy. Okay? In our strategy. So we need to prioritize protein, spread it out, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, quality source every meal. Okay, you can go onto my Instagram, Monica_Tuphome. There's one live. If you look at my lives, I actually talk about protein. Okay, animal or plant-based. Switch it up. Okay, how much protein? I get asked all the time. It depends on you. It would be 100% irresponsible and reckless of me to be like, everybody needs 110 grams of protein a day. I don't know how busy your life is. I don't know how sedentary or active you are during the day. I don't know how stressed out you are. I don't know what your goals are. I don't know if you have a performance goal in there, right? You're doing a triathlon, or you're doing some fitness competition at your gym, or, I don't know. The protein, like your other macronutrients, need to be nutrition paired to match that energy demand. So I know the question a lot of times is like, what to eat, how much, Okay, that's a control thing. Go back to day 1 and talk about narrative shifts. Okay, because that's, if you find that somewhere, that's blanketed solution. Okay, it needs to be specific to you. Okay, we need the nutrition to meet your energy demand, and that includes protein. But a good foundational start, protein, quality protein every meal. Okay, makes sense? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. Number 3, we're shifting a little bit from nutrition stuff, okay, strategy to a little bit up here. Okay, the shift. It's not the shift, but it's a good segue about the shift, and it's really based around cortisol. Okay, everyone knows who cortisol is. Give me a high five. Okay, cortisol is one of your biggest stress hormones. It's a huge player in having this metabolism that's high functioning to give you metabolic flexibility. Okay, huge player. And it's very responsible. If cortisol is high, backtrack. If cortisol is high chronically, it is very close to impossible to lose fluff if that's one of your goals. It's also close to impossible to have consistent energy through the day. Okay? Why? Because it prevents so many other essential hormones and bodily functions from working properly. Don't give it a bad rap. It wakes us up in the morning. I call it our get shit done hormone. It makes us motivate. We need it. Okay? It's amazing. It's our fight or flight. It used to save us from saber-toothed tigers back in the day. Right? Your husband or partner running around trying to pinch your bum. Okay? Like cortisol. We need it, but we have to utilize it in our metabolism makeover strategy. We have to utilize it to work for us, not against us, because elevated cortisol can go unchecked for so long and us not be conscious of it. I think we're very conscious of seasons of life and states where we may have tragedy, we may have changing jobs, we may have celebrations and graduations and stressful times, but we know that once that's done, then the cortisol will come back down and regulate. Okay? We also know that there's acute periods like traffic jams, annoying emails coming in our inbox, and I always say I got mad at my husband because he was crunching an apple too loud the other day. I'm like, ooh, somebody's hormones are off today, right? Like acute stressors. Again, we know that they're going to bother the heck out of us, but then that stress will dissipate. We often forget that how we eat, how we train, the dieting culture, if you're yo-yo and trying this and trying that, daily thoughts and the narratives that I talked about yesterday, the I should, I shouldn't, I can't, the pinching, the looking in the mirror, okay? Those are all micro stressors that even though we feel that they're small and maybe we become used to them as just as a part of our day because for years, if not decades, we've talked to ourselves that way, they pile up like this and become chronic. It's chronic stress. Okay. So when I talk about stress with clients, it's very easy. I shouldn't say that. That's very stereotypical. It's very, people are like self-care, manage your stress, all which is great. Okay. But I also believe we don't live in the bubble. Right. And I also believe I'm a big proponent for meditation and journaling. I'm not going against that. But a lot of times we can't just kumbaya our way out of it. Okay. So we need to figure out, number one, and this is what action I want you guys to take today, besides the consistent meal times and getting your protein in. I want you to really think about your day. And this is a great journaling prompt, and think about explore where any chronic stress is coming from. How many times today so far, it's 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, have you questioned yourself or self-criticized? Okay. Who cut you off on the highway today? Who's taking care of going to go see your dad in the retirement home because he's sick and you're going to bring him a snack for the weekend, right? Like, write these things down, become aware of them, because as women, as doers, as go-getters, right? And just like, I can do it, get it done. We often had a blinder on because we're just going to do it. But I'm asking you now to reflect on what areas, do it for a few days, you feel stress coming in. For those of you that out of 10, say your stress is like a 1 or 2, I'm pretty laid back, things roll off my back, that's me. Okay. I want you to dig deeper. Okay. And recognize maybe there's a couple of things out there, especially the internal narrative that we have. Okay, the internal narrative that we have. And it may take being really honest and having some tough conversations, and it may be taking you delegating some things. Okay, but cortisol is a huge player. The other part that I always recommend with clients, and I'm going to ask you guys too, with cortisol, remember I talked to you about serotonin. Okay, we want protein building block for certain hormones like serotonin. Okay, serotonin is also metabolized in our gut, hence gut health being so important. But anyways, Serotonin, hormone serotonin, it is your most effective cortisol blocker out there. You can take supplements. You can take, I see it that the GABA and the ashwagandha and everything to, the stress management supplements. What that's basically doing is just giving your HPA, your access to your adrenals to tell your body to produce cortisol, a big hug. Okay. It's not doing anything about the root source. I'm asking you to look at the root source of where the stress is coming from, see if there's anything that we can do about it. Okay. And then I'm asking you to do something that we know is proven from a functional medicine, holistic sense to help block cortisol, and that is serotonin. That is joy. That is feeling good. Okay, doing something that makes you happy. Okay, and one of the scientifically, it was done in another Harvard study, it shows getting outside in nature boosts serotonin almost 100% in most individuals, doubling how you feel, just getting outside. Okay, I'm not just saying poke your head out, like get outside, move around. Okay, connect with nature, be outside, move your body. The best serotonin cortisol blocker out there. When now you knowing the effects that cortisol has on our metabolism. We have to put a strategy in place, because again, we don't live in a bubble, to help us and our bodies and minds accommodate. I always say that, accommodate, utilize, okay, that stress in our lives. Become, like I talked about up here, become tougher. Okay, become tougher. So then you don't have the physiological response from being stressed or having stress. Okay, it doesn't give you the hormonal chaos. Okay, on that one side of your metabolism to basically tell your metabolism to slow down, conserve energy. She's in fight or flight. We don't understand what's going on. Hold on to fat for protection. All right. So to wrap it up, guys, like making over your metabolism, it really comes down to those foundational things. Nutritionally, we need consistency. Your body has to have it. 3 consistent meals through the day. Nutrient-dense foods. We all know what that means. Okay. Number 2 is prioritizing protein. Need to have that as a part of our strategy. Okay, spread it out. Don't just have your big, source at dinner. Spread it out. Excuse me. Okay, I totally just hiccuped. I don't know where that came. I was like, oh, hiccup. If I start the hiccups right now, that'd be amazing. Spread it through the day. And the third piece, which is a huge player, is your big fat storing hormone, which is cortisol. Okay, so we have to recognize what that's doing to our system. Okay, it doesn't matter how clean you eat, how hard you work out. Okay, it could actually be as added stress if you're not doing it in a hormone-centric approach to your body. Okay, so how do we do that with beyond the supplements and everything that's supposed to help with stress and the vitamin B's and everything? We are going to get outside. We are going to ground ourselves in nature. Okay, we are also going to be very honest with ourselves and journal, write down where these stresses are coming from. Okay, and have an honest look at them and have honest conversations with ways that you can help alleviate some of that feeling of stress. Okay, makes sense. Give me a high five. Give me a high five. You guys are still watching. Amazing. Yep. Okay, so Jennifer, I see I'm a paramedic, who works 24-hour shifts, and I prep my meals the day before so they're always in my consistent meals packed with me wherever I am, what I'm doing. Meal planning and advanced prep is so important. Yes, and I take that a step further because not everybody wants to sit for on Sundays and prep a week's worth of meals. Some people do and love being in the kitchen. I totally get it. Okay, but from someone like myself that has kids in activities and I want to hang out with friends and go on hikes and walks and bike and do things Sundays, I don't want to be stuck in the kitchen. Okay, I just don't. The nutritionist that doesn't want to cook. That's what I usually say I am. Okay, so, but when we talk about meal prepping, I segue it back a little bit. And what do I always say to you guys, Heather, Petra? I always say, you need to think of your future self. You need to think ahead. Even if it's just a day. think ahead, 2 days. So Jennifer does it because she's a 24-hour shift. Think ahead, or else she's grabbing meals from, fast food or doing whatever. It's perfect. We need to think ahead because then the food needs to be there for us, yes, but also has to meet that energy demand. Okay? For example, if you eat the exact same thing Monday to Friday, the exact same thing, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks if you need them. Okay? Tuesday and Wednesday, you're starving at the end of the day. But Monday, Thursday, Friday, you're totally fine. Why? Your metabolism, your energy demand. Okay? Whatever happened that day and whatever was going on, you needed more on that Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay? Hence your body saying food, 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 energy, energy, energy. Information. Okay? Makes sense. But thinking ahead is so important. Super important. Okay, so an amazing workshop the last 2 days. Did you guys find value? Give me a thumbs up. Even if you're watching the replay, let me know. Okay, work on the things that I told you. I gave you 3 things on Thursday, 3 things today. This is great reminders for some of you and foundational pieces, okay, that we need to be consistent with. All right. For those of you rock stars that are like, yep, Moni, I got it. I get it. I love what you're saying. I'm connecting with what you're saying. And I'm really ready to take it a step beyond, up level it, make it personalized to me and my life. I talked about that, right? Start feeling like you this summer. Okay. This is for what I'm going to offer you guys today is for the busy woman that wants to talk this out, be coached, have accountability, wants to learn why, wants to learn structures that work for them. Okay? The structure has to work for you because again, when we go through seasons of life when our attention and energy can't go there, then we know we can come back to this because it worked. Okay? I'm constantly telling my clients to write it down. How does that feel? How did that work? How is it working now? How does it feel? Okay? Is your body feeling lighter? Are we shedding the inches? Are we having better energy? How are we sleeping? What's worked? What structure isn't working? Okay, constant. And this is for you guys that are just done spending so much time, energy, and even money thinking about this. Just thinking about it all the time or researching, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try that, and I'm going to get summer ready. I'm going to do this boot camp, and so-and-so's doing this. And maybe it'll work for you for sure. Great. But then is there going to be a start fresh September like every year? Or if there's going to be an August where you're like, it's vacation mode. I can't do this on vacation. If you can't do it on vacation, it's a diet. Okay. It's not a sustainable solution. And you want to have the pieces of the puzzle put together. Okay. Because that's the thing. You can Google all this. You probably heard the word cortisol and insulin and meal timing and but having coaches put the puzzle pieces together for you is huge. It's huge. Okay, so in later this evening, you're going to get the replay for day 2, but then also the offer for the 3M Accelerator. Sounds so fancy, but what it really is, the accelerator is the first phase of our signature 4-month 3M solution. It's 4 weeks, 5 with onboarding because it takes a week. We talk. That's big. Okay. We ask you to fill out a couple of forms. We get you to do a bit of a tracker. Okay. How are you sleeping? How's your energy, etc.? What are you eating? Okay. And then we get on the phone, Zoom call, and we go through it and develop a strategy for you. Again, metabolism here, all these factors coming in here. We need to touch on all those factors for you to get that metabolism made over, right? So that you can get that metabolic flexibility this summer, right? Takes you to June 1st. It's like perfect timing. Okay. All the bells and whistles are going to be in the email for you. I give you 4 weeks of meal strategy ideas. This is not a meal plan to follow. This is for you to say, this is a strategy that Moni and I talked about. This is what this is what will work in my life. This sounds good. There's vegan and vegetarian options in there as well, if that's your prerogative. But it's focusing on 2 things. The nutrition part, nutrition pairing, again, what to eat, when to eat it to match your energy demand, That's what we're going to review. Okay. As well as the other facets of your life. Okay. Your stress, your sleep. Okay. Everything like that, hormonal state. It is also going to be working on your neural realignment. Okay. Realign your brain, transform your body. 80% of the journey. So in the 4 weeks, we're looking at priming your hormones by your nutrition strategy, personalized nutrition strategy, but we're also going to stop the overthinking, the self-sabotaging, the guessing, okay, the habits, the emotional eating, everything. Okay, we're working on this as well. Okay, and but the email will give you all the bells and whistles. Again, I'll be very honest with you. This is not a $27 blanket solution. Not to discredit them, they work for some. Okay, get you started maybe. Blanket solution. Okay, this is an investment into you, into coaching, one-to-one support, and accountability. Okay, and again, all the bells and whistles of what that looks like will be in the email. Okay, so love for you guys to stop this overconsumption of information and actually get personalized design action for you to take you one step further from this workshop and what we're doing. Okay, so that is my offer to you guys. Yay! Any questions at all, guys, while we wrap this up? Makes sense. Yes, me too. Yes, very valuable. Amazing. Exactly. High fives. Okay. Awesome. All right. I don't see any questions. If you're watching the replay and you have questions, just pop them in the chat or in the comments and we'll be checking in. And when I say we, I mean myself and my team, Angela, who's our client success coach. She'll be in here too. And we'll answer them for you. Okay. But we're at 45 minutes. It's Friday. The sun is shining here in Southern Ontario. I'm super pumped. I'm going to go outside, take care of my cortisol for the day. And I'm really excited about the 3M Accelerator. I hope you join us. I would be more than honored to take you into June, okay, and get you really, really summer ready. Okay, much love to everybody. Have a great Friday.